Welcome to our bonus lesson on benefits realization management and value management. In this lesson, we are going to explore one of the key components that executives seek at the beginning of their programs and often don't get as part of their digital transformation journeys. What is the value going to be if I implement this transformation, and am I going to get the value out of it for which I signed up to get? So what are we going to cover in this lesson? Well, first, we will go through and define what value management and benefits realization management are, as well as some supporting context to give you a better understanding of this area. We will then dive into the details on the benefits realization management framework and how this framework provides interludes not only to your organization's strategic planning cycle, but with all the portfolios, programs, and projects your organization is executing at any given point in time. Through this dialogue, we will provide you some key questions you should be addressing at every phase of your benefits realization management endeavor. We will then wrap up this lesson with some critical success factors for your BRM endeavor. By the end of this lesson, we hope that we have provided you a great appreciation for the effort required to implement a BRM framework in your organization and what it will take to get your organization to an acceptable level of BRM maturity so your organization can truly harvest the value out of your digital transformation initiatives. Organizations in both the public and private sectors traditionally struggle with the creation of a portfolio of projects that would provide sustainable business value. All too often, companies tend to add up all of the project requests to a queue for delivery without proper evaluation and with little regard if the projects are aligned with business objectives or provide benefits and value upon successful completion. Projects are often submitted without any accompanying business case or alignment to business strategy. Many projects that have accompanying business cases are based upon highly exaggerated expectations and unrealistic benefits. Other projects are created because of the whims of management, and the order in which the projects are completed is based upon the rank or title of the requester. The typical results in these cases are often project failure, waste of precious resources, and in some cases business value erosion or destruction rather than creation. So some of the challenges that most leaders of organizations face are determining which initiatives their organization should develop to achieve the value from their overall organizational strategy set out by their executive leadership and corporate strategists. Let's start with corporate strategy. If a corporate strategy fulfills its purpose, then it will greatly improve the corporation. An effective corporate level strategy can be used to accomplish a number of goals and provide several benefits. Such a strategy can accelerate growth, increase profits, reduce costs, eradicate counterproductive resources or individuals, distribute valuable resources effectively, and so much more. The challenge that comes to mind is, how do I get those benefits? Are there more benefits out there that have yet to be uncovered? What value can I get from those benefits? Do I need to establish separate initiatives in order to achieve those benefits? Or is there already a set of initiatives that my company wants to execute where these benefits may be achieved? If your answer is the latter, and you already have a pretty good idea of the initiatives you want to pursue and the benefits you think you can derive from those initiatives, how can you actually prove at the end of the day that you got the benefits that you signed up for and that they are measurable and can be measurably tracked from the initiatives for which you paid for? Hopefully by the end of this lesson, you will have a better understanding on how to address these questions and provide your organization a proper roadmap to determining benefits and establishing portfolios, programs, and projects to exploit and measure those benefits to generate maximum value for your organization. So before we begin, let's go about defining some key terms to baseline everyone's understanding. A benefit is a gain realized by the organization and beneficiaries through portfolio, program, or project outputs and/or resulting outcomes. Benefits realization management is a collection of processes, principles, and deliverables to effectively manage the organization's investment to achieve the desired benefits. Value is what the benefits are worth to the organization and beneficiaries and can be expressed as the net result of the realized benefits minus the cost to achieve those realized benefits. This definition of value is in its simplest binary form. We will be describing a few other ways to measure value in the slides ahead. And finally, value management is a method for achieving stakeholders' needs and expectations with the least possible resources while helping the organization stay competitive. In today's organizational context of rapid change and turbulent complexity, value management is an ideal way to support the organization's needs to become more responsive to both stakeholder needs and the continually changing market and competition. Value management was initially developed at General Electric in the late 1940s as value engineering and value analysis, a product improvement methodology known today as hard value management. Since then, it has evolved into first soft value management, which focuses on achieving stakeholder needs and expectations with the least possible resources, and more recently into a strategic methodology to help organizations stay competitive. Value management is one of the most effective processes to help align multiple stakeholders' needs and expectations. It is also an efficient group decision-making and problem-solving methodology that helps clarify a strategy and define the means to achieve it. For value management to be able to support strategic decisions and help drive business benefits, it needs to be closely combined with portfolio, program, and project management. Value management is about maximizing value in line with your organization's strategy, objectives, and key stakeholder requirements. This value can be looked at in terms of strategic value, management value, functional value, and operational related value. The success of value management depends on the engagement of stakeholders in the preparation of the business case and the benefits plan to create the knowledge and commitment required to realize the benefits for your organization. A fundamental question that value management addresses is, are we maximizing the value of our investments in operations so that we are getting the benefits we need at an affordable cost with a known and acceptable level of risk? So one of the things that I struggle with, because they are so closely tied to one another, is the difference between value management and benefits realization management. In my research for this lesson, I tried to determine the difference, if any, between these two terms, because when you talk to professionals in the industry, they seem to be used interchangeably. So we defined benefits realization management as a collection of processes, principles, and deliverables to effectively manage the organization's investment to achieve the desired benefits. And we defined value management as a method for achieving stakeholders' needs and expectations with the least possible resources while helping organizations stay competitive. In my research for this lesson, I came across an article written by Dr. Harold Kersner, who I think sums up the differences the best. Project value is what the benefits are worth to someone. Project or business's value can be quantified, whereas benefits are usually explained qualitatively. When we say the return on investment should improve, we are discussing benefits. But when we say that the return on investment should improve by 20%, we are discussing value. Progress towards value generation is easier to measure than benefits realization, especially during project execution. Benefits and value are generally inseparable. It is difficult to discuss one without the other. At the end of the day, folks may or may not use these interchangeably at your workplace. I think the big takeaway here is to think of BRM as the process used to capture, design, and measure the benefits that tie to your organization's strategy and objectives, and value management as the processes used to level the playing field when making strategic investment decisions, and as a final measurement to see if your investments really paid off. As I mentioned at the beginning of this lesson, organizations in both the public and private sectors have really been struggling with the creation of a portfolio of projects that would provide sustainable business value. As you can see in this chart, 73% of companies today do not measure the value from the software they implement. This statistic is consistent with my personal experience on this subject. Over my past 25 years, I can only think of a handful of companies that actually built a business case and actually designed ways to measure the value into their operational systems. This being said, I have seen a turnaround over the past 5 to 7 years around this, as more and more companies and more of my clients are starting to take serious looks at the way they capitalize and justify their organization's strategic initiatives. Of the 27% of companies that do measure value, 50% of those companies achieve their projected value much later than planned. And 83% of those companies miss the benefits which they set out at the beginning of their business case altogether. What this research is telling me is that we, as an industry, are starting to turn the corner to making value management and benefits realization management a permanent fixture on our initiatives, but there is a long way to go to improve the maturity of these processes and disciplines. According to a survey conducted by the Project Management Institute in its 2018 Pulse of the Profession report, Success in Disruptive Times, fewer than 10% of their respondents reported having high maturity levels in their value delivery capabilities. The average percentage of initiatives that met their original goals or business intent was 78% for organizations with at least a level 3 benefits realization maturity, and only 56% for those organizations that fell below a level 3 maturity. Only 31% of organizations are prioritizing the development of a comprehensive value delivery capability. And of the champion companies, those who are making investments to have high delivery capabilities, 87% reported achieving high delivery capabilities versus only 5% for underperformers. These statistics indicate that if attention and investment is made towards benefits realization management, there are huge gains in strategic value for your organization. So given all that we have discussed so far, why should we, as program leaders, care about benefits realization and value management? Well, with all the rapid change and increasing complexity, organizations typically struggle with implementing the strategies they need to generate and sustain a competitive advantage. There is a greater need now, more than ever, to ensure that the investments made to your digital transformation initiatives lead to clear, sustainable benefits. As we mentioned a couple slides before, historically speaking, organizations have not done a good job at this. Traditionally speaking, there have been severe gaps in the quantification, tracking, and actualization of benefits, and all that is starting to change. As a result, our role as program leaders is starting to change too. In the future, not only are we going to be held accountable for the triple constraint of delivering on time, on budget, and on scope, but we're also going to have some accountability, if not already, for delivering and harvesting the benefits and value from the program to our organizations. In the near future, we could see changes to the fundamental definition of what a project is. For example, take a look at the current PMBOK guide definition of a project, which is a temporary endeavor undertaken to create a unique product, service, or result. The problem with this definition is that the unique product, service, or result might not create any business value after the project is completed. Perhaps a future definition of a project might be a collection of sustainable business values scheduled for realization. Another definition is project success. The definition of project success almost always has been the completion of a project within the triple constraints of time, cost, and scope. This definition likewise must change because it lacks the word value, and it doesn't account for the fact that today we have significantly more than 3 constraints, and we refer to them as competing constraints. Therefore, the future definition of success might be achieving the desired business value within the competing constraints. This definition of project success that includes reference to value becomes extremely important when reporting the success of benefits realization and value management activities. With traditional project management, we create forecast reports that include the time at completion and the cost at completion. Using this new definition of success, we can now include in the forecast report benefits at completion and value at completion. This now elevates project performance reporting to the corporate boardroom. There is another inherent advantage to using value as part of the project success criteria. We can now establish a termination or pull the plug criteria defined in terms of value or benefits, which tells us when we should consider canceling a project before additional funds and resources are squandered. All too often, projects are allowed to linger on and continue wasting valuable resources because no one has the heart to cancel the failing project. Establishing a cancellation criteria in the business case or benefits realization plan may solve this issue. As a result, we must equip ourselves with the skills to successfully lead, integrate, and govern a benefits realization management initiative within our digital transformations. Your company invests in transformations to ultimately enjoy business benefits. Benefits realization management, or BRM, is that driver of value for your organization, which helps create and implement a benefits strategy, benefits plan, benefits tracking, and realization. It is the explicit planning, delivery, and management of whole life benefits from an investment point of view. I really like this picture as it shows at a high level how all these pieces are connected from an initial strategy through harvesting value. Organizations develop visions, missions, and strategies to guide their direction. These strategies are tied to overarching goals that have with them some associated benefits. These goals are then broken down into strategic objectives that are then turned into initiatives that are run at either a portfolio, program, or project level. Upon the execution of the portfolio, program, or project, you will get some sort of output or set of deliverables as a result of the execution. Those deliverables result in a series of outcomes, which in turn yield benefits that ultimately deliver the value sought by the organization and its strategy. At the organizational strategy level, benefits should be closely aligned to the strategic goals and organizational objectives. The organization's benefits realization strategy lays out the high-level direction for managing the planned benefits to be achieved through portfolio, program, and project outputs. Organizations then develop a benefits realization management plan that provides a documented explanation of the planned activities, timeframes, and criteria for achieving one or more planned benefits or group of related benefits. The benefits realization management framework you are about to see is a culmination of the leading practices that we have used to help organizations understand and reap the benefits of their digital transformation investments. This framework covers the day-to-day organization and management of the effort needed to envision, transform, realize, and optimize the potential benefits arising from the investments your organization makes across their portfolios, programs, and projects, including your digital transformation initiatives. This framework will help executives align their portfolios and the potential benefits of those portfolios to the organization's overall strategy. Additionally, this framework will help program leaders and their staff to properly identify, track, measure, and harvest the benefits of their initiatives to validate that the value planned was actually achieved to meet the organization's strategic objectives. Let's take a little bit deeper dive into each of the phases of the benefits realization management framework. In the envision phase, using the corporate strategy and objectives as a starting point, the organization's executive leadership decides what benefits to pursue and whether portfolios, programs, and projects are the best route to achieve strategic objectives and their associated benefits. Planned benefits are then defined and organized. Ideas for benefits come from many sources. Commonly, strategic planning workshops, annual budgeting planning, updates of benefit maps, and stakeholder insights identify potential benefits followed by their qualification and quantification. The quantification of benefits includes forecasting or estimating the scale of benefits anticipated to be achieved through a portfolio of programs and projects. One of the key deliverables of the envision phase is the benefits case. Within the organization's governance, management structure, and delegated authorities, a designated individual or group of individuals evaluate and propose potential work together with associated benefits consistent with the benefits realization management strategy, which is another deliverable within this phase. When diving into the envisioning phase, you can look at a variety of different types of benefits. Those benefits can be tangible, intangible, or a combination of both. Tangible benefits are usually focused around improvements that we can traditionally measure, such as improvements in quality, productivity, and service, cost avoidance or cost reduction, or increase in revenue generation. Intangibles, however, include benefits and value that may be tough to measure, but they're not immeasurable. Tough things to measure include collaboration, commitment, culture, employee morale, image, reputation, leadership effectiveness, motivation, stress, and teamwork. A good example of a benefit that can be tangible and/or intangible is customer satisfaction. There are ways to measure tangibility through customer satisfaction surveys, but there are also a lot of intangible benefits towards customer satisfaction that are hard to measure. At this phase, though, benefits may be hard to quantify. This will evolve over time through the rest of the BRM framework. As part of the envisioning phase, you may want to start thinking about the different ways you may want to measure the value you foresee from these benefits and the strategic initiatives you want to execute to achieve those benefits. As we discussed at the beginning of this lesson, traditionally speaking, value has been mathematically expressed as the net result of realized benefits minus the cost to achieve those realized benefits. However, as you will discover, quantifying benefits and allocating costs to attain those benefits can be quite challenging at times due to the degree of subjectivity involved. This is especially true of the intangible benefits as we described in the last slide. As a result, there have been more sophisticated ways to measure value. Most of these ways or models, as you can imagine, come from the finance industry. However, there are ways to apply these models to our digital transformation initiatives as well. Here are a few ways and models for you to consider. The Value Dynamics Framework. Similar to how the structure of a balanced scorecard allows us to reframe strategy into 4 or 5 perspectives, we can structure our strategic assets into a framework known as the Value Dynamics Framework, or VDF. VDF is an organized approach to categorizing all the assets that are required for strategic execution. Assets can fall into several categories, such as the following. Physical assets, such as inventory, facilities, equipment, and vehicles. Customer assets, such as strategic partners, suppliers, distributors, and other assets needed to serve customers. Organizational assets, such as employees, executives, board members, organizational structures, cultures, processes, and reputation. Financial assets, such as cash flow, revenues, debt, equity, and other financial resources needed to make the strategy happen. In his article, Putting Strategy into the Balanced Scorecard, Peter Brewer outlines 4 steps to building a VDF. First, identify the assets you will need to execute your strategy. Second, map your assets into a framework, making sure everything relates to one another, resulting in one cohesive model. Third, do a SWOT analysis of strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats of your VDF, making sure it works against the current competitive environment. And finally, connect critical success factors in the strategy to the assets within the VDF. The Value Gap Analysis. The value gap analysis process involves looking at your current actual performance and comparing that with your planned and or potential and or desired performance. The core principle of the gap analysis is to find solutions to problems that are holding your business back. Intellectual capital valuation. The intellectual capital valuation is a series of 7 different models used to identify the value of intellectual property. Economic value analysis. Economic value analysis is a systematic approach to evaluating the performance attributes of your product in relation to the resource expenditures required to enjoy its benefits. The Balanced Scorecard. The Balanced Scorecard is a strategic performance measurement model which was developed by Robert Kaplan and David Norton. Its objective is to translate an organization's mission and vision into actual operational actions. Inclusive value measurement. Inclusive value measurement is a way of measuring the overall value of intellectual capital whereby value data is used over financial data. And finally, VMM, or Valued Measurement Methodology. VMM is a tool that helps financial planners balance both tangible and intangible values when making investment decisions and monitoring benefits. The approach of the VMM is to start by developing a framework of values including cost, risks, tangible returns, and intangible returns, then assigning scores to implement them in the framework. Once the relative scores of the different types of values are assigned and agreed, it becomes possible to examine alternatives and give a yes-no decision in a fairly objective and repeatable manner, and review progress using a range of traditional quantitative program management techniques. As well as allowing comparison of different values within a project, the quantitative approach of the VMM permits review of the total contribution to a particular value across a range of projects. Some of the key questions that you should be able to answer coming out of the envision phase include, Are the benefits aligned with the organization's strategic goals? Are the benefits, tangible, intangible, short-term and/or long-term, explicitly defined in the business case? Does the business case outline how the benefits will be measured and when benefits are forecasted to be delivered? Are all the known program benefits documented in a benefits register and benefits realization roadmap? Does your program governance take into account benefits management, including relevant acceptance criteria? Are portfolio, program, project selection, and/or funding decisions based on the impact to expected benefits? Have the benefits owners been consulted and confirmed? As part of the transform phase, our work focuses on taking the information gained in the envision phase and crystallizing that information so that we can kick off the formal portfolio, program, and project work to get those benefits we envisioned realized. Now, as most of us know with frameworks and methods, sometimes the lines get a little blurred between the stages in a framework or a method. Depending on your thoughts or organizational approach, you may desire to put some of these activities and deliverables in the envision phase. For example, if you have rules of engagement within your organization that you cannot formulate any portfolio, program, or project plans unless you have a signed-off benefits realization plan, well then you need to put the benefits realization plan in the envision phase. At the end of the day, you will need to use your best judgment in building the proper activities and deliverable and work package dependencies to complete your appropriate work. Some of the key activities that you need to get done early in the transform phase are as follows. Crystallize your benefits register and make sure all are on board with these benefits. Get commitments from your leadership that they will own the delivery and results of these benefits. Assign the benefits to your appropriate portfolio, program, and projects. Once you can address these key questions, you should be in a really good position to start executing your portfolio, program, and project activities. Do benefits align with the organization's strategic goals and their associated objectives? Are they tangible or intangible benefits? Are they short-term or long-term benefits, as explicitly defined in the business case? Have associated risks, including potential disbenefits, been identified for managing? Does the business case outline how benefits should be measured and when they should be forecasted for delivery? Does the measurement of those benefits necessitate new outputs or activities that should be included in your business case? Are all project or program benefits adequately documented? Have key stakeholders signed off on each benefits realization plan? How does governance factor into the benefits realization plan, including relevant acceptance criteria? Have the owners and beneficiaries been consulted and confirmed? Again, sometimes the lines blur a little bit. It all depends on your organization's rigidity. I have been on several initiatives where all these benefits and commitments were thought out prior to the start of the program execution, and I've been on other programs where these things were not finalized until the design phase was completed. It all depends on your organization's culture. Once you get into the execution mode of your portfolio, program, or project, your benefits realization team members will work with the other initiative members, designing the targeted benefits into the overall processes and data elements within your initiative scope, and design the ways to measure and report on those benefits as part of the future operating model. Each benefit in the Benefits Realization Management Plan has a preliminary set of planned measurements. These measurements, however, imply flexibility and constant revalidation across the BRM lifecycle. As appropriate, measurements can be modified with approval of the benefit owner. Measurements vary by benefit type and the organization's preferences. From portfolio, program, and project perspectives, measurements fall into two broad categories: those before outputs are completed and those after outputs are completed and transferred to beneficiaries or planned benefits. The managers of portfolios, programs, and projects should develop designated measurements gauging the progress and alignment to the plan. These measurements can be interim measurements or can be developed progressively according to the business case and benefits realization management plan. Near the beginning of the transform phase, and no later than the end of the design phase of your initiative, you should be able to answer the following questions. Are the portfolio, program, project selection, and/or funding decisions based on the impact to expected benefits? Does the program governance take into account benefits management, including relevant acceptance criteria? Have the benefits owners been consulted and confirmed? Are all of the program benefits documented in the benefits register and benefits realization roadmap? Have key stakeholders signed off on the benefits realization plan? Have the benefits owners been consulted and confirmed? In the realize phase, we start seeing the fruits of all of our labor. During this phase, the portfolios, programs, and/or projects complete the technical and management planning to create the outputs, products, services, and capabilities that will lead to outcomes for beneficiaries to realize planned benefits. It is in this phase where the benefits owner's activities really start to kick in. The benefit owner is responsible to ensure that planned benefits are clearly communicated to key stakeholders. The program and/or project teams understand how their outputs contribute to planned benefits. Progress reviews are punctual. There is a clear way of discovering emergent benefits as well as the threats of disbenefits. The program or project remains relevant, aligned, and produces outputs for planned benefits in the face of unexpected events. For each of the programs and projects concerned, this is the stage where the technical work produces outputs that lead to the realization of planned benefits. The benefit owner coordinates with the portfolio, program, and project managers to optimize and eventually realize planned benefits. Use phase gate or similar designated reviews to ensure programs and projects remain aligned with the organization's strategic objectives. Evaluate risk and key performance indicators for stable delivery of benefits. Record progress and inform key stakeholders. Ensure the planned benefit realization dependencies, components, and management structures are incorporated into the appropriate governance process. Ensure key stakeholders and beneficiaries have reviewed, understood, and act in accordance with the planned benefits realization management plan dependencies. Understand the impact of benefits to enhance controls and reduce risk. And use appropriate communication and stakeholder engagement processes. From a benefits realization management perspective, in the realize phase, you are traditionally performing the final testing that your benefits processes, technology, data, and measurements are in place and working in a test environment. You are also working with your organizational transformation counterparts, ensuring that the key resources within the organization understand the value of the initiatives, understand the importance of the process, technology, and data changes that will help them realize these benefits, and get the teams excited about the upcoming transformation. At the same time, you are also preparing for any cutover activities that may require the benefits management team to engage in to ensure the smooth transition from your legacy state to your new digital transformation operating model. The benefit owner needs to work with the appropriate portfolio, program, or project managers to ensure beneficiaries are appropriately engaged and briefed to realize planned benefits. This also includes plans for sustainment of the benefits. For realized benefits to be sustainable within the beneficiary's organization, the benefit owner and operational managers responsible for benefit delivery take ownership. This requires incorporating the organizational changes associated with the realized benefits to become part of the organization's business as usual. During and by the end of the realize phase, you should be able to address the following key questions. Have the expected benefits been clearly communicated to key stakeholders? Does the program team understand how project outputs contribute to business benefits? Is progress regularly reviewed against the benefits realization roadmap? Are benefits frequently modified to reflect the most current information regarding the changing business conditions? Is effective change control being utilized to close gaps between expected and actual benefits? Is there a formal process to discover new benefit opportunities? Is the program still relevant based on what benefits can be realized against unexpected events or changes to the benefits plan? And finally, are the benefit owners responsible, accountable, and evaluated for achieving benefit targets? Once your initiative is live and you are executing your new processes, technology, and data elements, you can now start measuring the benefits that your new operating model is generating. Now, you are most likely not going to see all your benefits right at the beginning. Remember, Rome wasn't built in a day. There's usually a pretty significant learning curve with all the changes that have taken place. Despite all the effort your training and immersion teams have done, It will still take some time for everyone to get comfortable with all the new processes, work instructions, integrations, and data elements. Regardless, start measuring process day 1 and continue to evaluate at 30-day, 60-day, 90-day, 6-month, and 9-month increments. Practices supporting the optimization of benefits include planning for operational, financial, and behavioral changes when necessary by beneficiaries to continue checking benefits performance. Performing an audit to verify that benefits have been realized. Facilitating continuous improvement through ongoing knowledge sharing regarding the benefits contribution to organizational success. Developing business cases for A, the potential initiation of new programs or projects to respond to operational issues, or B, a need for improvement in product performance or functionality. And finally, monitoring the continued suitability of the new capability and/or other changing factors. As part of the optimization process, depending upon the type of benefit, whether it is internally or externally realized, it may become necessary to adapt it. Modifying or substituting a benefit may be an option when the full intent of the planned benefit is not met. This can happen when, for example, technological advancement triggers the availability of a new, different benefit. This can also happen when a benefit becomes a disbenefit due to political or regulatory changes after the original benefit is realized. Once you have been live and measuring benefits for about 6 to 9 months, it is usually a good opportunity to analyze to see if you had made the gains that you expected to make as described in your business case. If everything has gone to plan, the numbers should line up fairly well. If they don't, maybe there are some opportunities to tweak a few things to make up the difference. If there seems to be a significant gap between your original business case and your current results, it may be required to do some further analysis for the benefits that may require additional investments or changes to the operating model to make up the difference. During the optimize phase, you should be able to answer the following questions. Have the benefits, tangible, intangible, short-term and/or long-term, been optimized? Have the benefits been transitioned to and approved by key stakeholders, including the accountable operational business owners? Have program outcomes and capabilities been handed over to the business owners? Are realized benefits being measured and verified against the business and sustainment plans? Are the actual benefits being delivered within the time frame of the benefits realization plan? Were lessons learned captured and communicated? And have unanticipated benefits been realized and captured for the future? In putting this lesson together, I wanted to leave you with some of the top critical success factors for effective benefits realization management based on the work that we have performed over the years. I hope you find them useful for your own initiatives. Let's go over them now. A key to successful BRM is the need for assigned benefit owners or sponsors and other involved leaders to be aligned with the organization's governance structure and BRM strategy. These roles have an accountability and responsibility to lead across the BRM lifecycle, which is the management of a benefit from a vision through realization and optimization. Other senior leaders may be responsible to help manage change associated with reaching and realizing planned benefits, which are vital for ensuring overall portfolio, program, and project success. The use of RACI charts or other similar techniques is a key way of clearly identifying accountabilities and responsibilities for key roles. These roles need visibility and insight to the programs and projects and how strategic alignment, objectives, and related benefits are delivered. Benefit owners with the right insight provide a broad view perspective and guide the overall portfolios, programs, and projects to better address the strategic intent of the planned benefits. BRM helps create visibility and insight regarding strategy, and it highlights deviations between the program or project outputs and the planned outcomes. This insight provides benefit owners the opportunity to make corrections, where small changes can make a big difference. BRM also ensures executives can make decisions to support those programs and projects that directly link to strategy. Benefit owners, sponsors, and other senior leaders can support BRM by reinforcing the accountabilities throughout the associated portfolios, programs, and projects, and by serving as role models for positive BRM behaviors. Every organization profits by encouraging and reinforcing the adoption of BRM concepts, terminology, and processes across the portfolios, programs, and projects they commission. This enables the organization to build a BRM culture where executives, initiative leaders, suppliers, individual contributors, and stakeholders are able to easily identify and observe the intended outcomes, results, and benefits that are critical to each initiative's success. The attributes of a BRM culture may include incorporating benefits formally in every business case, benefits realization management plan, and other initiating tools such as charters. Assessing portfolios, programs, and projects to ensure they align with strategic organizational objectives, targets, and planned benefits. Focusing on both tangible and intangible benefits, in addition to any related foreseen risks and their relationships to success. Establishing appropriate levels of governance with active engagement and shared responsibility among senior executives, those who identify targeted benefits for the sponsored programs and projects, and the managers who lead the delivery of realizing those planned benefits. Ensuring decision-making related to benefits realization is characterized by effective, holistic problem solving. Encouraging initiative leaders to raise and prioritize issues that affect benefits realization early. And finally, demonstrating an awareness through behaviors and words on how the organizational culture can positively or negatively impact planned benefits. Conversely, there are some organizational attributes that can prevent the successful engagement of BRM within an organization. These should be avoided and discouraged at all costs. Punishing leaders and team members who share real initiative problems and issues. Focusing on staying on schedule regardless of the impact to cost, quality, benefits, outcome, or results, and ambiguous or poor communications that withhold important information. To achieve success, leaders should encourage behaviors that create an organizational culture that inspires and improves performance across the organization. BRM is a critical enabler to this success for senior executives, business owners, and portfolio, program, and project leaders. Developing skills to support BRM leads to a greater likelihood for success and improved achievement in planned benefits. BRM involves a variety of roles with levels of engagement that can be clustered into 4 groups of skill sets. Governance roles. Governance roles include executives, senior management, leadership, and sponsors. Decision-making capabilities, leadership skills, and business acumen are needed to perform the governance roles associated with BRM. In addition to these generalized senior management skills, additional, more specific skills are necessary to enable senior leaders to design and validate the governance roles, responsibilities, and governance body configuration. Establish benefits management criteria, metrics to be monitored, and measurement parameters. Review and approve benefits realization management plans. Evaluate and approve chartering documents. Assess performance against benefits realization criteria and measures at planned intervals. Monitor, report, and publish progress against benefit targets for review by all levels of the organization. And identify and make changes to portfolio components, for example, programs, projects, and operations, to achieve and sustain planned benefits. Number 2, stakeholder roles. Stakeholder roles include middle management, operational management, and/or benefits owners, sponsors, and beneficiaries. These roles are performed by either clients of benefits being sought or by suppliers of resources and capabilities needed to create the outputs and outcomes necessary for realization of the benefits. These stakeholders have a very active role in the envision and transform phases of the BRM framework and should be able to identify initiatives that can lead to realization of strategic benefits from a bottoms-up perspective. Understand the value for money considerations in order to validate benefit profiles. Aid in the development, appraisal, and approval of value benefit maps. Validate benefits measurement baselines and targets. And finally, give input to transition plans and lesson learned reviews as lessons are learned and periodically reviewed throughout the initiative. Number 3, managerial roles. Managerial roles include benefits, portfolio, program, project, and change managers. These roles are responsible for managing the contributions of their area of expertise to the overall benefits throughout the BRM lifecycle. Organizational project management applies to all of these roles. Successful change management provides organizations with a competitive advantage. A few critical success factors for successful change management are effective communication, addressing potential resistance, team collaboration, and the active support of the sponsor. And finally, number 4, the specialist roles. Specialist roles include benefits and business analysis. The skill set of the benefits business analysis comprises analyzing and interpreting complex organizational data, identifying problems and opportunities, providing possible solutions that would yield benefits, and developing dashboards, reports, and presentations. In addition to these skill sets, this role needs excellent communication skills with the ability to interact with and influence a wide range of leadership roles, senior stakeholders, and portfolio, program, project, and change managers. More specifically, those engaged in the benefit business analysis should be able to facilitate workshops with governance, stakeholders, and managers to identify and select benefits and to be able to develop specific measures and mechanisms for measuring benefits. Create a benefits traceability matrix or a benefits map showing the relationships between the planned benefits and their enabling outcomes, capabilities, and initiatives. Review portfolio, program, and project charters against these initiative outputs and outcomes in their business cases and benefits realization management plans to confirm their continuing alignment with the business needs and expectations. Assess at regular intervals whether the benefits defined in the business case, benefits realization management plan, and initiative charter have captured in the benefits map and are being realized by the operational beneficiaries. And finally, supporting portfolio, program, project, and change managers to ensure that all the plans, outputs, and outcomes are aligned to the planned benefits. Organizations that tend to be good at BRM embrace flexibility, because in the dynamic and changing environments, few programs or projects are delivered as originally planned. This implies that either BRM may not deliver the planned benefits or that expectations change during the delivery timeframe. As the delivery environment changes, the benefits being sought may also need to be changed or adapted. For example, when managing the benefits of a large-scale ERP-based digital transformation, the planned timeline is generally long and subject to unexpected changes in external environmental economics, which are outside the control of those involved in the physical delivery. The original list of planned benefits captured in the benefits register or map may change. Therefore, the list needs to be changed and be adapted to the new situation. All portfolios of programs and projects pose a degree of risk. Risk can range from discrete risk that only affect a given program or project to overall risk that can affect the entire portfolio and the organization itself. Efforts undertaken by an organization to deliver benefits being sought can also bring disbenefits to the organization or other beneficiaries. Identification of key risk and appropriate governance structures are essential to ensure that the delivery of programs and projects remains credible, appropriate, and useful in achieving planned benefits for the beneficiaries. Once a program or project is closed and the associated risk is updated, any residual risks are moved to the next higher level in the governance structure for further monitoring or follow-up. BRM can be embedded into existing governance structures for portfolio, programs, and projects where they may already exist. When BRM is not already embedded in these governance structures, steps should be taken to ensure BRM is part of the governance of portfolios, programs, and projects. This is key to ensuring benefits and value are being pursued and remain aligned with the organization's overall strategy. BRM provides the necessary monitoring and management mechanisms to track whether the benefits are actually realized. The governance structures also need to provide a way for ensuring benefits are sustained after the program and project completion. These structures should also ensure adequate BRM metrics are available to monitor for both tangible and intangible benefits, which are viewed as part of an integral part of the ongoing portfolio, program, and project governance. Benefits tracking involves identifying appropriate BRM metrics for use in effective management and leadership. This is essential to achieve the outputs and outcomes of the portfolios, programs, and projects, in addition to the benefits for the beneficiaries. BRM metrics need to address both tangible and intangible benefits as applicable. This allows the tracking of progress towards benefits realization. BRM metrics are not required to be precise or holistic, but they should be viewed as essential to providing insight into trends and allowing a degree of forecasting for successful realization. Such forecasting is indicative of outcomes and, when necessary, can help improve portfolio, program, and project initiatives to help ensure benefits realization. Appropriate, measurable, and understood set of BRM metrics should be in place early to enable adequate monitoring. The measurement of benefits and their associated value as it materializes before, during, and after realization is critical to successful BRM. In closing, I wanted to share with you some special considerations for you as a program leader. Let's call it the program leader's priorities for a successful BRM outcome. In order to gain the maximum value from your benefits realization management framework, you, as the program leader, should focus on these key priorities. Manage your programs and projects based on the planned strategic outcomes and benefits, and specifically value creation for your business. Recognize the extent of organizational change required if planned benefits are to be realized. Create an environment for regular dialogue to secure alignment, assess progress, and course correct as needed right from the start with each initiative, with high-level executives, organization owners, senior end users, and the appropriate portfolio, program, and project managers. Remember our conversations on the 7 keys to success? This is a great opportunity to build this dialogue right into that scorecard and use it to gauge just how well you are doing in this area and where you need improvements. And finally, make it a priority to establish the right conditions for success. Set the proper expectations regarding the principles behind benefits, value, and benefits realization management framework. Establish the supporting behaviors for these principles. Foster a value-oriented environment. And have the right organization, portfolio, program, and project leadership in place committed to doing benefits realization management well. Well, that just about wraps it up. I hope you enjoyed this bonus lesson on value and benefits realization management. Throughout this lesson, we defined the key terminology around value and benefits realization management and hopefully provided you a clearer understanding on the differences between the two. We then dove deeply into the benefits realization management framework and discussed the myriad of activities, deliverables, and questions to address throughout the envision, transform, realize, and optimize phases of the BRM framework. We then described the 6 critical success factors for an effective BRM implementation, as well as the leading practices for you, the program leader, to instill a positive BRM experience within your portfolio, program, or project initiatives. And this concludes our bonus lesson on value and benefits realization management. Take care, and I wish you all the success on your next digital transformation implementation.